In the 1860s, America was a vast and rugged land, where communication relied heavily on brave individuals willing to traverse its many challenges. This was the era of the Pony Express, a remarkable mail service that connected the east and west coasts. Riders galloped across rough terrain, often enduring treacherous weather, to ensure that letters, news, and important documents reached their destinations quickly. The Pony Express was more than just a means of delivering mail. It symbolized hope and unity for a country that was expanding rapidly. Each rider, mounted on a sturdy horse, took on the responsibility of braving not just the elements but also the threat of wild animals and hostile territories. They were young adventurers, often barely adults, driven by courage and a sense of duty. The success of this service depended on their skill and determination, making them legends in their own right. In this thrilling landscape, every successful delivery brought excitement and relief, binding families and friends together across great distances. Little did one particular rider know that fate had something extraordinary in store for him on his next ride. The landscape of the West was both breathtaking and perilous, dotted with towering mountains, deep valleys, and vast plains. Riders on the Pony Express faced many dangers as they raced against time to deliver their precious cargo. With each gallop, they navigated rocky paths that twisted through canyons and crossed rivers that surged with spring meltwater. The weather could be merciless, with fierce storms sweeping in from the mountains, bringing rain, hail, or blinding snow. In addition to the brutal elements, riders had to be wary of hostile territories inhabited by Native American tribes who were fiercely protective of their land. Many areas were steeped in conflict, making every ride a potential encounter with danger. The threat of wild animals lurked as well. Riders had to keep their eyes peeled for wolves or bears that might cross their path unexpectedly. Despite these challenges, the determination and spirit of the riders surged like the wild winds that swept across the plains. Each journey tested their strength and courage, driving them forward into the unknown where adventure and danger awaited at every turn. Among the daring riders of the Pony Express was young Jake Thompson, a man known for his incredible speed and unwavering bravery. With tousled hair and bright blue eyes that sparkled with determination, Jake had already carved a name for himself on the dusty trails of the West. He was no stranger to danger, having faced fierce storms and wild animals on his previous rides. Some even whispered tales of how he once outpaced an angry bear, leaping over rocks and roots without a moment's hesitation. Jake's love for adventure began when he was just a boy, growing up on the edges of the frontier where the wilds met civilization. Often found roaming alongside his trusty horse, Bella, he learned to navigate the land like a second nature. This bond with his horse grew stronger through countless journeys filled with excitement and challenges. However, behind Jake's confident smile lay a deep sense of responsibility. He believed that each letter he delivered carried dreams and hopes from families across America. As he prepared for his next ride, little did he know that destiny had something extraordinary in store for him, a moment that would test his courage like never before. As Jake galloped through the rugged terrain, he suddenly spotted a small figure sitting on a rock beside the trail. It was a young child, no more than 8 years old, with wide, frightened eyes and tangled hair. The child wore a tattered dress that looked too big and dirty, evidence of a long struggle. Jake's heart sank at the sight. This lost orphan seemed utterly vulnerable and alone in the vast wilderness. The child's face was streaked with tears, and they clutched a faded doll tightly to their chest, as if it were a lifeline. Panic filled their eyes as they glanced around, clearly unsure of what to do next. Jake could sense the fear radiating from the child, making him act quickly. He knew that in this unforgiving land, every moment mattered. "Hey there, it's okay," Jake called gently, easing his horse closer. "You're safe now." He felt an overwhelming urge to help this little one, realizing that their need for help mirrored the hopes and dreams of many families along his route. As he approached, Jake made a promise to himself. He would protect this orphan and ensure they found their way back home. Navigating through the dense forest, Jake maneuvered Bella carefully, mindful of the twisted roots and gnarled branches surrounding them. The air was thick with the scent of pine and damp earth, and the rustling leaves created a symphony of whispers. Suddenly, his heart raced as he caught sight of something unusual. A small figure huddled beneath a cluster of bushes, almost camouflaged by the shadows. As he approached, urgency surged within him. The realization that every moment mattered became crystal clear. The child's wide eyes gleamed with fear, reflecting the dim light filtering through the canopy above. Jake's instincts kicked in as he dismounted swiftly, his heart pounding not just from the gallop, but from the pressing need to act. Leaning down closer, he spoke softly, "It's okay. You're not alone." The forest around them faded away as his focus remained solely on the fragile figure before him. Jake could see the desperation in the child's face and felt a wave of compassion wash over him. There was no time to lose. The journey ahead would be perilous, and Jake was determined to protect this little one from whatever dangers lurked in the shadows of the forest. Without a moment to waste, Jake knew he had to act quickly. The forest felt alive with danger, and he could sense that every second counted. He gently but firmly reached for the orphan, lifting the child into his arms as he hoisted them onto the saddle in front of him. "Hold on tight," he instructed, making sure the little one was secure. The orphan's small frame fit snugly against him, and Jake could feel their trembling body pressed against his side. He wrapped one arm around the child, providing comfort and reassurance as Bella shifted restlessly beneath them. "You're safe with me," he promised, his voice steady despite the urgency of their situation. With a swift motion, Jake urged Bella into a gallop, her hooves thundering against the ground as they sped away from the hidden dangers of the forest. The wind whipped through Jake's hair, a mix of exhilaration and fear coursing through him. He was determined to protect this innocent life at all costs, knowing that their journey together had only just begun. As Jake and the orphan raced forward, the sound of thundering hooves echoed through the wilderness, but a new tension hung thick in the air. Just ahead, Jake's heart plummeted as he saw dark figures emerging from behind the rocky outcroppings. A group of Sioux warriors blocking the narrow pass. Their fierce expressions and poised lances glinted ominously in the fading sunlight, signaling that their intentions were anything but friendly. Jake's grip tightened on Bella's reins as he weighed his options. The warriors seemed wary but ready to defend their territory, and any misplaced movement could spark conflict. He could feel the orphan shiver against him, clearly sensing the danger looming ahead. Jake knew they had little time. Beyond this pass lay open plains where they could find safety. With adrenaline coursing through his veins, Jake made a swift decision to maneuver Bella closer to the side of the path, hoping to slip through unnoticed. He whispered softly to the child, urging them to stay quiet as he skillfully guided them into a place where shadows would provide some cover. The seriousness of their situation weighed heavily on him. Escape was crucial, and he vowed to protect this innocent child no matter what happened next. With the Sioux warriors looming nearby, Jake felt a rush of fear tighten his chest as he navigated the treacherous path. Every rock and root seemed to threaten their swift escape, and he could feel the weight of the orphan clinging to him, reminding him of his responsibility. Holding the child securely, he urged Bella onward, her hooves pounding against the ground as they raced against time. Jake's heart raced as he carefully maneuvered around sharp turns and steep inclines, each flick of his wrist guiding Bella to avoid potential dangers. The sounds of the forest were heightened, rustling leaves, distant animal calls, and the thumping of his own heartbeat filled his ears. He knew that behind them, the warriors were alert. Any sign of movement could draw their attention. "Stay close," Jake whispered urgently to the orphan, casting a glance down at the child, who looked up with wide eyes filled with trust. In that moment, Jake felt a fierce resolve surge within him. He would not let anything happen to this innocent life. With determination etched on his face, he pressed forward, fueled by the will to reach safety before it was too late. As they continued their flight, the full moon began to rise over the horizon, casting a silver glow across the rugged landscape. The light illuminated the path ahead, revealing the rocky terrain and the shadows of trees that danced in the night breeze. Jake could feel the warmth of the moonlight on his face, yet it did little to ease the tension in his heart. The beauty of the scene contrasted sharply with the urgency of their escape. Every flicker of light played tricks on his mind, making him acutely aware of how exposed they were. The moon's brilliance also meant that any movement would be easily spotted by the Sioux warriors who might still be lurking nearby. Jake tightened his grip around the orphan, whispering encouragement to keep them calm as he pressed forward with determination. With each stride of Bella's powerful legs, Jake felt time slipping away like sand through his fingers. He knew they had to reach safety before dawn broke, or risk being caught in the open with nowhere to hide. The weight of responsibility drove him onward. He could not let fear dictate their fate, when hope and safety were just beyond reach. With the moonlight illuminating their path, Jake and Bella surged forward, the sounds of hoofbeats echoing behind them as the Sioux warriors gave chase. Jake's heart raced as he expertly navigated around towering rocks and fallen logs, using every ounce of skill he'd honed on the trails. The orphan clung tightly to him, their small body pressed against his side as they flew through the night. Every sharp turn felt like a gamble. Jake had to trust Bella's instincts just as much as his own. He could hear shouts from the warriors growing closer, their urgency matching his own. With adrenaline pumping through his veins, he spotted a narrow gap between two steep cliffs ahead. A risky maneuver, but perhaps their only chance. "Hold on tight," Jake called out before guiding Bella toward the opening. As they charged ahead, dust kicked up in clouds around them, briefly obscuring their escape. The sound of spears striking rocks echoed in the distance. With a burst of speed, Jake pushed Bella harder. They emerged from the gap into a moonlit clearing that opened up with more options for escape. Just ahead lay a dense thicket. Jake hoped it would provide cover enough for them to evade their pursuers. As they approached the thicket, Jake suddenly heard the rustle of movement behind them. The Sioux warriors had gained ground, their fierce shouts echoing through the night air. Without a moment's hesitation, Jake felt a wave of determination surge within him. He could not let the child be captured. With Bella's hooves pounding steadily beneath them, he made a split-second decision. "Hold on," he instructed, now fully facing the warriors as they emerged from the shadows. Jake pulled Bella to a stop, blocking the immediate path behind them. He knew it was risky, but he also knew that courage was not just about fleeing but standing firm when needed. With an intense gaze, he yelled out boldly, "You won't take this child. You'll have to go through me first." The warriors paused, momentarily taken aback by his defiance. Jake tightened his grip on Bella's reins and shifted into a protective stance, resolved not to back down. His heart raced not just with fear but with an unwavering resolve to protect the innocent life beside him. In that moment, Jake embodied bravery, ready to face whatever came next for the sake of the orphan's safety. After a thrilling escape from the Sioux warriors, Jake and the orphan galloped through the trees until they spotted the warm glow of lanterns in the distance. Their hearts raced with hope as they approached a small settlement nestled within the protective embrace of rolling hills. The sight of homes, safe and inviting, sent a rush of relief flooding through Jake's veins. As they entered the town, villagers began to step outside, drawn by the sound of thundering hooves. Upon seeing Jake and the child, their expressions shifted from curiosity to concern. "Help!" Jake called out, his voice tinged with exhaustion but filled with gratitude. "We need shelter." A kind woman rushed forward, her arms outstretched. "Come inside. You're safe now." With a gentle motion, she helped Jake lift the orphan down from Bella's saddle. The child's wide eyes shimmered with tears, not just from fear but also from a deep longing for safety and comfort. Jake felt a weight lift from his shoulders as he stepped into the cozy home. Surrounded by warmth and kindness, he knew they had finally found refuge. In that moment, he vowed to protect this innocent child for as long as it took to ensure they were reunited with their family. In the cozy warmth of the settlement, Jake and the orphan began to forge a bond that would last beyond their harrowing adventure. Sitting by the fire, the child shared stories of their family, eyes sparkling with memories of home, while Jake listened intently, feeling a profound connection grow between them. Each laugh and tear deepened their relationship, transforming fear into trust. As days passed in safety, Jake ensured the child felt loved and secure. They roamed through the settlement together, exploring its nooks and crannies, sharing meals with kind villagers who offered their support. The orphan's laughter echoed in the air as they played with Bella, who welcomed the child as if they were part of her own family. Jake realized that their journey had not only been about escaping danger, it had also been about finding a shared purpose. The bond formed in that time of peril taught them both resilience and hope. In protecting the innocent life beside him, Jake discovered his own capacity for love and kindness. Together, they would face whatever came next, united by an adventure that had forever changed them both. The journey of Jake and the orphan was a powerful testament to the values of bravery and compassion that can emerge even in the darkest situations. Their adventure proved that courage comes not only from facing danger head-on, but also from extending a hand to those in need. In moments where fear threatened to take control, it was love and protection that guided Jake's actions, reminding us all of the importance of standing up for one another. As their bond deepened, they discovered that kindness can illuminate the path forward, transforming uncertainty into hope. The warmth of human connection offered them refuge and strength, showing how acts of compassion can change lives. Each shared smile and comforting word fortified their spirits against the challenges they faced. This story serves as an inspiration for us all to be vigilant in helping others, especially those who cannot stand for themselves. Whether big or small, our efforts to show kindness can create ripples of resilience that echo beyond ourselves. Just like Jake and the orphan learned, we all have the power to make a difference when we dare to act with bravery and compassion in our hearts.